As stem cell hype grows, so does the demand, and following the demand are unbelievable treatments, some that seem too good to be true. Today we investigate CC Medical Services in New York, a regenerative medicine clinic with impressive claims. According to Dr. Kalapai's website, he can use adipose-derived autologous stem cells, or fat cells, from the patient who will be receiving them. Dr. Kalapai explains that these cells will be taken from belly fat, love handles, or around the buttocks, processed, and then inserted back into the patient to treat a number of what most people consider incurable diseases. Let's take a closer look at this process and whether or not his statements hold true with current stem cell research. A member of our team researched the man behind CC Medical Services. Abby, can you tell us what you found?
Yes, Maria, I can. Thank you. I found that both of the clinics in New York are owned by Dr. Kalapai himself. He is a doctor of osteopathic medicine, which is different from allopathic medicine in that osteopathic doctors take a more holistic approach to treating people, focusing on disease prevention and the body as a whole. Dr. Kalapai graduated from the New York College of Osteopathic Medicine and has been practicing alternative family medicine for over 20 years with an emphasis on manipulative therapy. He is board certified in family medicine, and his website claims that he has certification in anti-aging medicine and hyperbaric therapy. A few reviews on healthgrades.com provided some insight with how Dr. Kalapai treats his patients. They seem to reach the conclusion that Dr. Kalapai is very much interested in the money and does not spend a lot of time with his patients.
Now to Nathan Waterford, our specialist on the FDA policies on stem cell regulations.
So the FDA has the authority to regulate stem cells under the Public Health Services Act, specifically Title 21. And what this does is it effectively classifies stem cells into two different categories. The first one is called a 361, and this means that the stem cells are minimally manipulated, so you're not changing anything about them chemically. They're performing the same basic function in the treatment as it would normally do in the body, and everything happens in one treatment. If any of those are not true, then it is automatically classified as a 351, and 351s are much more regulated. Based on what I saw on Dr. Kalapai's clinic, they appear to be a 351 because they claim that these fat cells are going to treat diseases like MS, which isn't the same function. And going along with that, they're not showing that they're FDA approved at all, so meaning they're probably not off doing this legally. What they did say they were regulated by was the CDC, which makes no sense if the FDA is the regulatory authority, and the CDC is no part of that.
Now we will turn to our Honolulu location with Alec Fuglum and Garrett Garber with our special informant, Mr. Potts, to further discuss this fraudulent stem cell clinic.
How does this treatment work?
They usually take the stem cells and body fat, a process that usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Then they will take the time to process the stem cells. Afterwards, they will wash the stem cells and centrifuge them at least 3 times. After this process is completed, injection can be done either into the joint, connective tissue, muscle, and for all other organs and systematic diseases, intravenously, of course.
So how much does this treatment cost?
Every patient's case is special and unique, so they do not give a specific amount. Generally, intravenous treatments are quite expensive, so you can expect a down payment of at least $10,000. Phase 1 of the procedure takes up the bulk of the cost. The processing of the stem cells after the initial extraction is also quite expensive as well.
So now that we know how much these more invasive procedures cost, how about the pricing data on maybe a lower impact procedure, such as a patient who's having knee pain or some other local joint pain?
Well, speaking solely about the knee treatment, the treatment usually starts at around $5,000 for a local injection of stem cells. The cells differentiate into cells they need to be when they receive distress signals from adjacent cells. This process is quoted for a local injection, and intravenous will obviously be more.
So now that we know how much this procedure actually costs, how quickly can patients expect to see results? Is there any chance that they actually recover even fully from their ailments?
They say you can expect to see results about 12 hours after the treatment. However, it depends on which illness you're being treated for.
Do they have any testimonials from patients? Have they been cured?
They have plenty of testimonials from patients who have received stem cell therapy. Some of these patients also claim that they were cured of their respective diseases. For example, they had a male patient not too long ago who contacted them for a potential stem cell treatment for his MS. This patient worked for the auto industry, and his MS made it very difficult for him to do his job efficiently. Additionally, his right side was also much weaker than his left side. After receiving the stem cell treatment, he claimed that he regained feeling and control in his right side no less than 12 hours after the treatment. With each passing day, he gained more mobility and control. As of right now, this patient says he has full control over his body and he has long since returned to work.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Potts.
Glad to be here, thank you.
Of course. Now back to Maria in the main studio.
Now we will go to Saida Mobashir to discuss how Dr. Kalapai provides follow-up to his patients and the risks associated with the stem cell treatments.
As seen by one of the videos on Dr. Kalapai's webpage, he does not mention risks to patients, one of the fundamentals in medicine. Doctors are legally required to provide all risks to patients that might impact their decision-making process. Dr. Kalapai only talks about how his patients feel better, for which he has patient testimonials on his webpage. However, there is no proof that those were actual patients and not just hired help. These claims are only self-supported, and there's no published articles or research done. Nowhere on his website or his self-interviews does he mention the FDA or clinical trials. When we called Dr. Kalapai and asked about side effects for Alzheimer's disease treatment, the operator failed to mention any. Dr. Kalapai seems to be treating his patients as if stem cell treatment is the mainstream treatment nowadays and does not entail any risks. Furthermore, the patient testimonials explain miraculous results. For example, a Parkinson's patient explains that he was able to walk normal strides with a walker the day of the procedure, while before having stem cells injected, he was in a wheelchair and was not even able to walk with a walker. Furthermore, the only follow-up procedures being offered by Dr. Kalapai's clinics are questionnaires. So patients come in after the treatment and they get a list of questions that they have to fill in answers to. So the only follow-up procedures that are being done are all subjective tests. None of them are objective and provide any real result.
Now we will go to Garrett Garber to discuss how Dr. Kalapai promotes his stem cell clinic.
We took a look at how Dr. Kalapai is promoting his stem cell treatment. Upon an initial search, we discovered that he had dedicated a portion of his website to his stem cell therapies. He claimed that it could treat a variety of diseases, including Alzheimer's, MS, and Parkinson's disease. It also appeared that he had an archive of research articles that explained how these treatments worked, and had included several patient testimonials from his own clinic. And some of these were included in his new book, Stem Cell Therapy, Opening the Door to a New Universe. His website additionally provided a variety of videos of patient testimonials to promote these treatments. We then discovered that Dr. Kalapai had a YouTube page that further promoted his treatments. Beyond his website and YouTube page, we weren't able to locate digital promotions of his treatment, but we found an uncertified Twitter account that had remained inactive for several years now. Despite a database of archived research articles, many of Dr. Kalapai's proposed stem cell treatments seem to be unsupported based on his approach, and the articles he provides are often limited and discuss very little application for stem cell therapy. Dr. Kalapai's treatment involves the use of mesenchymal stem cells, which can only differentiate into fat, muscle, bone, and cartilage. However, he proposes using these for neurological conditions such as Alzheimer's disease. Based on a mass amount of research in the National Institute of Health's database, mesenchymal stem cells can't differentiate into neurons. Therefore, it raises major questions about the validity of these treatments and causes us to believe that these treatments aren't effective.
And that concludes our segment. Thank you for watching and good night.